everyone! First episode for 2025.
Yes!
And today, our episode is all about making mistakes as a small business owner. Actually, it's already our 10th year this year in the business.
Yes, 10 years!
Isang dekada na. And baka iniisip nyo, ang tagal na nila, siguro hindi na sila nagkakamali or parang hindi na sila relatable. Everything they're going through is something na ibang level na. Kasi 10 years na sila, may branches na sila. But we are here to tell you that we are still making mistakes.
So many
10
mistakes.
years
Yes.
and still making mistakes. Common Room PH Mess Studio is our biggest branch. We opened it last year, our 9th year, and on our 10th year, we are acknowledging that we made some of our biggest mistakes in the business. So, if you want to find out what that is, stay tuned and watch this episode. For those who are new here, Common Room PH is a shared retail and digital space for over 200 Filipino makers and artists. If you're looking for unique locally made products, we have branches in Power Plant Mall, UP Town Center, Alabang Town Center, Ayala Malls, Manila Bay, and the Atrium of Makati. So, I guess, Ate Man, ang una natin kailangan sabihin sa kanila ay, pumalpak ba tayo?
Kung may salamin si Kuya Boy Abunda at itatanong ka, what will you say? Pumalpak ba tayo?
I guess the first tip is to recognize and admit that you made a mistake. So that's the first step. I think in handling any problem, it's admitting that you've made mistakes along the way. And as expected, Common Room PH Mess Studio is our biggest branch and it has different sections that we haven't tried before. Mas obvious or mas natural and mas logical that you expect that you will be making mistakes, right? Because it's new. Sobrang swerte mo na lang kung talagang the first try, you're perfect. But I guess yun ang gusto namin sabihin, even after 10 years, we're still making mistakes like you guys. And if you're experiencing that in your business, the first step is always recognize and acknowledge that you have made a mistake so that you know that you need to do something about it.
Yeah, pero how do they go about recognizing those mistakes?
In our case, you always have to listen to your gut then, okay? So even ahead of data, mararamdaman mo naman yan, diba? Like, for example, even if you haven't computed your bazaar sales, alam mong okay ka. And then at the end of the day, when you check all the numbers and you feel na okay nga talaga. So even ahead of those data, nararamdaman mo na yon. Your gut or your intuition is already telling you that you're doing something right and this was the right event that you joined for your brand. And in our case, it was very glaring. Even ahead of the computation data gathering for 2024, nararamdaman namin siya because we have branches in other prime locations. We
May
have
point of comparison tayo.
Yes. And it's really different. And di ba, parang, we wanted a third space. We wanted a slow space.
Slow nga talaga siya.
So even ahead of the data, meron ng mga ganong red flags na you just can't ignore. Diba?
It will also help din kasi na parang even if hindi mo siya tingnan na parang problema yan, maybe you can also look at it na what else can I improve in my process or my system. Like for example, sa Pop Junk Love, for the longest time, kami talaga yung nagtatahe. Like isang doll, ilang oras natin siya tinatapos? Mga 2 hours? Pero what if we had more people? What if we invested in a proper sewing machine? Maybe sa 2 oras na yun, makakagawa tayo ng 5 versus 1. Those are the things that can help you determine if may mga bagay na pwede kang solusyonan or improve sa sistema mo. It's not necessarily like a big red flag na magko-close, but just a tiny thing that you can improve in your business.
Going back to the example of Ate Man, in our case in Pop Junk Club, the reason why we started to train people is that feeling. The data is telling us we're doing okay, but there is this feeling in my gut that I am not happy anymore. I am not happy. I am not able to make new collections. I am stuck doing the same old dolls because we are the only ones who can make them, and we don't have people, and we're so imprisoned by the old system. My inner voice is telling me this is not what I signed up for. I am not happy. I'm doing
Nag-aaway na kami
Yes,
palagi
hindi na
kasi
siya
hindi kami
creative.
natutulog.
Hindi na siya creative. I'm like a sewing machine. Parang at the end of the day, I'm not able to exercise my creativity because I'm not able to release collections. That feeling is something you need to listen to so that
Recognize.
yes, so that somehow alam mo na even if the numbers are telling you you're doing okay, there's still something in the process that you can improve on.
So from that point na na-realize natin, nakukutaba na natin. Yeah, this is it. May something wrong
We made a
talaga.
mistake.
Yeah. How did we find out or na-concretize natin na parang, ay, oo nga, may problema nga talaga tayo?
So, papasok na tayo sa tip number 2. Look at your numbers. Look at your data. Ang kutob ay kutob, but it can be a better or a more informed decision or conclusion if we look at the numbers and we look at the data. Para yung magiging solution natin would be based on the data. Classic example, in the mess studio. Okay, going to 2025, we thought, kasi nga, galing kami sa mall locations, right? Sobrang lakas ng retail, di ba? People are supporting our retail, ganyan. And here, we feel like we need to scrap out the retail section. It's not doing its thing. It's not like the mall.
Hindi siya parang Rockwell or ATC na daming bumibili.
Baguhin natin siya. Ganyan yung mag-Happy New Year na kami, kakain na kami, pero yung utak namin, it's the retail, it's the retail.
Yeah, tanggalin. Baka kailangan bawasan yung retailer, extend yung craft area.
Gawin nating pop-up na lang, ganyan. Ang dami namin naiisip, thinking that it's probably the retail section not doing its thing. But what is the data telling us?
Kaya ng retail yung sarili niya. It's actually paying for itself and it's moving well.
Ang lesson namin from that experience is that ang dami namin gustong plans, etc.
Ang dami nating theories.
Ang dami nating theories. Pero if you look at the numbers and if you look at the data, makikita mo talaga kung saan nanggagaling yung mistake or ano yung problem talaga of a specific business or a specific section in your business. And from there, you can make solutions or, actions based on actual data. So kung hindi namin tinignan yung data, baka hindi nyo na makikita ang retail section today. Mas informed yung mga solutions nyo moving forward or your actions or your next steps will be more informed because you know what the problem is, saan may pagkukulang, and ano ang dapat ayusin. So, Ate Maan, because the data is telling us that we made a mistake, are we giving up? Are we closing?
Yeah, kasi it's easy to say na siguro kasi hindi siya kumikita so i-close na lang natin siya.
Hindi siya kumikita.
Business-wise,
What is the
diba?
obvious solution? Close it. Takpan ng butas. Tama na.
Cover it up!
Cover it up. Okay. Okay. Are we closing? And if not, why are we not closing yet? Tip number 3.
I'm sure it's easy to fixate on the things that are going wrong. Pero at the end of the day, you also have to recognize the good things that are happening and the insights that you are getting from your experience or from your small business. So, yes, it's good to recognize na may problema, pero dapat nakikita nyo rin the good things that are happening to your business.
And that is the reason why you will keep going. Okay? There are things that the numbers will tell you. You need also to recognize that there are some things that the number and the data can't fully capture. And yun yung sana gusto namin din tignan ninyo when you're looking at the challenges in your business and finding reasons to continue.
Kasi yung mga intangible things na yun, importante din siya. It reminds you why you even started your business, diba? Maybe it challenges you to be a better entrepreneur so that you can stay on your mission and realize yung vision nyo, why you set it up. But going back to your roots, your reason, your why is a very big motivator for you to solve those problems and for you to stick it out.
Yes, we're in the red.
Yeah, we're hard facts. We're in the red. But clear sa atin kung bakit natin siya ginagawa. Clear sa atin why this space is important, why this space is the next evolution of Common Room. And that is, I think, reason enough for us to keep going.
The data is telling us, yes, we failed. But we define our success.
Okay lang maging red.
That's just one part of being successful, okay? So, why we're saying that you have to look for things that are going right? Because the numbers isn't the only metric of success. There are some things that the data and the number can't fully capture. And in our case, here in the Atrium, the reason why we are doing it still and why this is still open and why we are willing to make changes so that we can improve is because we know that it is not a failure. It's just that we still need to do more. For example, location-wise, did we fail? No, it's not a failed location. It is the best location among all the locations that we've checked. Is our craft area, our event space a failure? No. From 0 events in 2023, in 2024, we held 30 plus events with different communities.
We met so many
People from just being secluded and retail and being, you know, just putting our stuff there and people you can buy there, it's there, we're not there, we're hiding. From that situation to actually putting ourselves out there, meeting people, reading books with people.
Understanding how to hold events, reach out to more communities. Ang daming highlights. Parang it's unfair if we just focus on the red. Kasi ang daming good things talaga, as in.
And by looking at the other things that are going right, it somehow tames the numbers in the sense na it may be in the red, but it may also mean that we can just do more of something.
Yeah.
Baka parang may kailangan lang kaming improve, not because nagkamali kami totally and that talagang biggest mistake in our business is yung Mess Studio. Alam mo, parang instead of looking it that way, baka pwedeng sabihin lang natin na baka kulang lang pa. Baka may pwede lang pa kaming ayusin.
Konting
and improve.
patience lang.
Yes, because again, it's not just the red na nakikita natin sa box, but also, ano pa yung beyond those numbers na hindi niya na-capture?
Paano nila yun pwedeng i-apply sa business nila?
I guess, ayun, may instinct kang nararamdaman that you have to check, right? And then you validate that or you give it a more concrete support by looking at your data. And then the data is telling you you're not doing okay. The next step is asking yourself, should I continue? And you will only be able to answer that if you answer the next question, which is, what is going right? Are those things enough to make you stay? Ikaw lang makakasagot nun in your business. Are the good things enough to keep you going? And in our case, it is still good enough to keep on going. So yes, Mess Studio is still open. So define your success. What does success mean for you? So one part is the numbers. Of course, we need to be realistic and practical. Numbers is part of the success metric.
Yeah.
But it's not the only metric.
So, naintindihan mo na yung numbers mo. Aware ka sa mga kailangan mong baguhin or kailangan mong pagsolusyonan. Clear naman kung bakit mo ginagawa yung ginagawa mo. So, fight ka pa rin sa
Yes.
pag-push ng business mo. Pero until when? Until when ka magpa-fight? Of course, very sentimental. If you're owning your business, di ba, you always want to try to keep it open. Pero, paano mo malalaman to actually say na, I have to close na?
Huwag na tayo maglokohan.
Huwag hindi na talaga kaya isalba. So, when?
Tama na. So, tip number 4, give yourself a timeline. I think just you asking that question is a really privileged question because some people don't even have the luxury of asking that question. Some small businesses, hindi na talaga kaya. Hindi na nila tatanungin hanggang kailan ako kakapit kasi wala na talagang pagkakapitan. To answer that question, give yourself a timeline. Hanggang kailan? For me, I guess in the case of Mess Studio, hanggang ma-exhaust natin lahat ng gusto naming matutunan sa space.
Yeah, it's not like our savings are infinite or forever na kaya naman natin siyang i-afford to open kahit hindi talaga siya as lucrative as we hope.
I guess we're giving ourselves that deadline. We know we've been in business for a long time, so we know that it takes time for things to,
Hindi naman siya overnight na parang boom.
okay na siya agad. Especially since it's a new concept.
Yeah.
Unlike when we open common room, it feels like a new concept. But sa totoo lang, all the makers there have been in bazaars for decades, for a lot of years already. So they have a community, they are not new in the business, they can sustain their shelves, etc. So somehow, yung common room page when we opened, it is new, but basically we are veterans in the arts and crafts market. So parang somehow we've experienced it already. So yung 10 years na binuno namin bago kami magka-common room, wala pang ganon na experience si Mes Studio. So I think it would be unfair to not give it the time it needs to learn and experience and to improve. Sa lahat ng kahit anong bago mong papasukin, expect that there will be mistakes along the way. Mistakes that are necessary for you to improve the system and make the necessary changes to make it better. Ano ba ang mga plano nating changes this year?
I guess siguro makaka-relate kayo dun sa feeling na parang medyo may takot or apprehension, especially coming from yung feeling na loss or defeat na parang in the red, tapos alam mo kailangan mo siyang solusyonan, pero mauunahan ka ng takot kasi baka mamaya tama ba yung gagawin ko or baka mamaya yung solution ko, it might make things worse. I mean, it's hard to navigate that feeling na you have to be proactive.
This feeling, you
This
mean?
feeling. You know, you have to be proactive kasi it's your business, but at the same time, takot kang magkamali.
For me, to help me hurdle that feeling is to always remember why I tried in the first place. I really wanted to learn from the experience. Yun yung pinaka-motivation ko since in the red na nga siya, 'di ba? And we already decided, it's clear that we decided that we will continue to open it. So, the next is, paano natin siya masusulit? And the only way for me na masasabi kong nasulit ko siya is I am able to learn as much as I can from the experience. And to be able to learn as much as I can, it means I need to try as much as I can.
Tsaka parang wala na ring mawawala sa'yo, diba?
In the red na nga.
The red na nga eh.
Meron pa bang mas red pa sa red?
So might as well. I think it might be hard to wrap your head around it, but it's actually more costly if wala kang gagawin.
Nawalan siya ng potential in the future. Baka prematurely, you just give up on it. So, ayan, we've decided.
We've decided.
Ano na nga ba mga gagawin
So ano nga
natin?
ba? Initially sabi namin, baka dapat litan yung retail, but no, di pala. Retail's doing well.
Yes. And itutuloy pa rin namin yung initial concept namin that a part of it will be a revolving pop-up. So, expect new brands in the coming months.
And what else?
So when you enter, one of the first things you will see is a library separating the common spaces to the craft area. We're thinking maybe we open it up for everyone and they can just sit anywhere.
Yeah, maybe it's dividing the space too much na people don't know if they can go there. So parang I think itong Mes Studio rate card namin, ang dami niyang permutations. I guess ang pinaka-learning namin dun is because it's a very new concept. We have to be super, super clear about it. So, ito, like, it's still a work in progress. Nakailang permutations namin ng menu, but I think there's still space to communicate it better, to maybe package it differently. So, pag nakita ng tao, mas magigets nila.
So definitely those are the plans, the things we need to work on. But these are the things that are the reason why we are still doing it, why we are still open. Because again, we're giving ourselves a timeline. And the goal during this period for us is to exhaust as many new experiences as we can so that we can learn from the experience.
So, sasayaw na rin kami sa TikTok. Magla-live selling. Magla-live selling na po.
Okay na ba?
So, I expect nyo na lang this year, guys, na marami kaming itatry, marami kaming experimentuhan sa space with the events and the collabs or maybe things that we'll do internally as a team kasi we're giving ourselves like 1 more year to experiment, exhaust.
Wala pa
and
naman
learn
tayong
what you
1
can.
more year here. We're just 6 months.
6 months pa lang.
Oh,
Probationary period.
See, we're so hard on ourselves. Which, a good segue for tip number 5. Don't be too hard on yourself.
Okay. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself.
We wanted to show you the reality of owning your small business. We've been here for 10 years. We have several branches already. And it may seem like we have it all figured out. In reality, just like you, we are still learning.
Hindi lang learning, na-challenge pa rin tayo.
Yes.
Hindi tayo immune to mistakes. Hindi tayo immune to feeling scared or feeling na parang we're inadequate in running this business or doing something new for your brand. So,
We wanted you to know na kung may pinagdadaanan ka as a small business owner, pinagdadaanan din namin siya in some way or some capacity. Pwedeng magkakaiba lang siya ng titles and etc. But at the end of the day, it's still us, small business owners, trying our very best to continue the things that we really believe in. You are not alone. Don't be too hard on yourself.
yes.
And we are still trying. So for all our fellow small business owners, makers, artists who are struggling, ito po ang aming recap of all the things that we tried, we did, so that we can continue here in this space. Number 1 is to admit and recognize that we
Yes.
made a mistake. That's the first one, acknowledging that we made a mistake, listening to that inner voice so that you know that you really need to do something. Once you heard that inner voice, next step is to gather the data to substantiate that voice.
Study what went wrong.
Yes, study what went wrong, gather your data so that lahat ng actions moving forward, solutions that you will think for your small business will be really according to the problems shown in your data.
Yes, and just don't focus on the negative ones. So, tip number 3 is you also recognize the good things that are going for you and what you've been doing right for your business. Kasi that will help you keep you motivated to stay on track and find the necessary solutions for your brand.
And also, since hindi naman po tayo unlimited resources, you also give yourself a timeline. Kumbaga, hanggang saan tayo we keep on going in the business so that you are clear kung hanggang saan ka mag-experiment.
And
last,
while you're experimenting and trying and doing your best to look for solutions for your brand or for your business, remember to always be kind to yourself and give yourself grace when you're having a difficult time or you're failing but you're still trying. So,
those are our 5 tips to ourselves. And again, to end this on a very positive note, Common Yung PH Mess Studio, guys, is still open. We're still open. And if you haven't been, please visit us here. We also have branches in Power Plant Mall, UP Town Center, Alabang Town Center, and Ayala Malls, Manila Bay. Thank you, guys, and we hope you join us for our 10th year activities.
Yes.
Because we're not done yet. 10 years, and we're still trying.
bye!